Everybody, in this video we're going to go over how to use Figma. So the first thing you want to do is you want to search up Figma, or you can go to figma.com, either your choice, and you want to create your account. And once you're here, you're going to see a dashboard that's going to show you essentially resources, templates, and tools, and all your drafts and projects, and as well as trash. So essentially, if you want to go to your recents, see your recents, just click recent. And then if you ever felt overwhelmed with the design tool that felt overwhelming from the start, you can notice how clean it is. They have all the specific design tools that you want right here: design, FigJam, slides, and buzz. And you can, it's like something like Photoshop. Maybe you're familiar with that. But if you want to create a new file, for example, just create the, essentially right here, you can click make, right? And then from here, they'll have some examples of what you can do. So for example, a data dashboard, and you can send it right here. And then here's going to think like, sort of like previous AIs that you might have seen before, like DeepSeek, and it's going to build your idea in real time. And the blank canvas might feel intimidating, but this is where the recent improvements and skyrocketing advancements have been made, because the AI just essentially allows you to code your project. And for example, if you want to be the first thing for like designing a app or a website or just a simple logo, it's going to build your idea and even show you the code in real time right here. And essentially just wait for it to load. It's already doing a lot, and it's going to be very, very fast. And another thing while I wait for that to do the project is they have UI kits and libraries. So if you want to go to, for example, all projects right here, or the templates and tools, you can see they have a bunch of like preset sets of buttons, like menus and cards, either created by the community or Figma in themselves. And the assets panel right here, just essentially click on your team project, and you can see they have iOS and iPadOS and Material 3 design kits, and these are the Apple design resources, which is really, really cool. And from there, these UI kits and design libraries, once activated, you can just drag and drop them into your project. And you have to accept the terms and services for the specific project or UI kit you're using. And if we go back, you can see it's still working out the details, so it's spending a lot of time. So if you would rather try to build everything from scratch, or like speeding up things with templates, this is really great, because you can go to templates and tools, and then you can do any type project or design chart, like these playful yard sale Instagram post, or there's some fun ones that you can just look out and tap the cookie to crack and open. And these are just cool things that you can customize and design. So they have a thriving community marketplace where creators just upload templates that don't cost anything, and plugins and widgets, and you can just grab things like the user journey maps and interactive cards, or even fun extras like the fortune cookie widget that we just showed. And these templates are great for starting points, especially if you need a design instead of just starting with a blank canvas. Of course, you can do that. Lots of times you do have to do that. But you're essentially remixing something that already works, right? So if you want to wireframe before designing polished screens, most teams start with wireframes, so I'll show you how to do that right now. If I go back to here and go to my design and prototype, wireframes are essentially the templates, in my opinion, because they map out the structure before you're worried about color or fonts. So they have plenty of wireframing kits. You can just drag and drop buttons, cards, nav bars, and placeholders to sketch your app or website. And once the skeleton feels right, you can just swap those blocks for polished designs. So for example, there's like an Instagram post portrait. I'll just click add that. You can see you can edit the text right here, change the image as well as the background if you want, but just essentially gives you inspiration to start off of something that you don't have to think of like a blank canvas. So if you want FigJam for brainstorming, you can again use this AI tool. And I think the reason why it's still doing it is because I believe you have to be on the screen, on the tab while it does it. And you can look at the code, double check everything. You can see that it's not only do you have to like do every file like a normal AI probably would, because you'd have to like copy and paste, like, oh, this goes in the guidelines and styles, but it does it specifically for you. And then you can use sticky notes, emojis, connectors, and flowcharts when you're in a normal project like this by like doing the plus right here, and then essentially right clicking, and then for example adding the text box and then putting it right there, or if it's gonna let me right here, hold on, text box, and then you can see right there it says add text body text. You can just say whatever you want. You are watching a tutorial, and then you can change the template if you want. If you don't want the default, because a lot of people don't want the modern land text, obviously you're probably using this for a design thing. And adding the widgets and collaboration features is really simple, because let me first go to the inserts. So you can go to media. They have a lot of media right here. You can upload your own media as well if you don't want to just directly drag and drop and copy and paste it. And then from there, essentially, let me just create a new one. From there, you can also add shapes. These are just the normal shapes you need, instead of trying to use Microsoft Paint or whatever you might use. And you can react with emojis, use stamps, or draw directly on the canvas, or even chat via cursor comments. And collaboration, I would say, is Figma's secret weapon, because multiple people can edit the same file at once, just like Google Docs. So there's like no more like .psd chaos. They get to like email each other, because you can just click share right here, and then you can either create I believe a link where everyone can view it, or you can add someone by email, just like Google Docs. I mean, I think that's pretty simple and explanatory. And then once there, you can just see everyone that's in the project, and imagine your like whole team working on one design in real time. If it might feel complicated or speeding up, you can go back to styles and prototyping and wrapping up by essentially going back to the file right here and add the templates and tools and the project files. But if we go back to our AI thing right here, you can see it created a full app design that was intuitive for like the sticky top nav bar and with the panel summary. And you can see how great it works, because you can click and add new project, and if you say yes, it looks good, obviously you're probably gonna have to do some tweaking, because it's not going to be 100% perfect, but it's a great start for your project. This AI is integrated directly within it, and Figma also lets you create screensavers to create prototypes, interactive mockups that feel like real apps. So you can just share those with the clients or teammates, and they just can click through without needing to code anything. And you've essentially seen how Figma covers the whole workflow, from wireframes to design, systems to prototyping to collaboration. And essentially, if you had to choose just one feature, like the wireframing, prototyping, or collaboration, which one do you think would change your workflow the most? In my opinion, I'd probably say the prototyping and the AI integration right here. And yeah, thanks for watching this video. Like and subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you later.